Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie Bree, and today I'm talking about the short-lived phenomenon known as hacky sack. This came out in the middle of the 90s. This is the most 90s thing you can get. And it's so weird, hacky sack. Hacky sack is one of those things you younger kids are scratching your head saying, are you speaking English or is this gibberish? What the fuck is a hacky sack? Hacky sack is a beanbag. It's usually knitted or crocheted, so it's yarn. It's a ball of yarn stuffed with beans. That's what it is. That's what a hacky sack is. You kick it with your ankle is what you do. You drop it on your ankle and you kick it and you see how many times you can kick it before it falls to the ground. Then you pass it to the next person and see how many times they can kick it and you go in a circle. That's hacky sack. Hacky sack is one of those rare things. I'm going to talk briefly about my childhood, and then I'm going to get into my hacky sack memories. I got bullied a lot. I mean, a lot. Shoved in lockers, wedgies, head dunked in the toilet. I got beat up, literally beat up, shoved into walls, tripped, kicked, punched, everything. I got beat up a lot, picked on a lot. I moved around a lot, so I always had a fresh new batch of bullies every school I went to. By the time I got to 7th grade, and I've already done a video on this, so I won't go into the details, I moved from Kansas to Hastings, Nebraska. And I finished out 7th grade in Hastings, and I did 8th grade in Hastings. Middle school. When I was in middle school, I continued to get bullied. But I had also, by this point, learned how to fight back. And so I got in a lot of physical fights in middle school, in 8th grade. And so I was in suspension a lot, in school suspension. So I did not go to class. Now, they let me out for lunch, and they let me out for the break that follows lunch, which, you know, you would call recess, but in middle school, they don't call it recess. They just call it break. It's recess. Anyways, so I got that 45-minute window a day where I got out of my cell and was able to interact with the other kids. Yes, even the bullies who put me in detention. Either because I got in a fight with them or because I preemptively attacked them with a hockey stick, which happened more than once. Excuse me. Anyways. Missed the trash can. Oops. It happens. So here's the thing. There was this one kid in particular. Well, it was a bunch of them, but there was one kid in particular who was always beating me up. And I got court mandated anger management group. I was put in an anger management group once a week. And also above that, I was put in counseling outside of school. I had to see a therapist once a week. They put me in this room with my bully, the kid that I hated. So I took the back of a metal folding chair and bashed him in the back of the head and proceeded to beat the living snot out of this motherfucker, which got me expelled from school, and my parents had to go to court and argue with the judge to get me back in school, which they did on a couple of conditions I'm not going to get into here. However, this is relevant to the story. When that lunchtime break came around, me and my asshole who I wanted to kill, we made a truce. We played hacky sack together. I may cry. I hated this kid. I wanted him to die. He wanted me to die. But we stopped hating each other for 10 minutes to play hacky sack. And I don't know why that was. And it was weird because it was like after the bell rang, we went back to torturing each other. So I have a weird, complicated history with hacky sack. The thing with hacky sack is it was so short-lived. It was literally time and place. It was like that 1 year. That frozen in time, that 1 year, 1996. Hacky sack was the peace bringer. It was the one thing that could cause all the kids on the playground to just to cease fire and just get along for 10 minutes. It was so weird. Because in 1997, hacky sack was old news and we had already moved on and life proceeded as usual, bashing each other's skulls in. Because of that, I do not own and will never own another hacky sack again because it does tie back into some traumatic memories of mine that I would rather not relive. Even though it brought me temporary peace during a time of turmoil in my life, I never did respect that kid, but he was good at the hacky sack. And I got good enough that I won't say I earned his respect, but I at least earned his place in the circle. He's like, hey, join us. Which was really fucking weird. This kid who I had beaten over the head with this steel chair was cool with me 10 minutes a day playing hacky sack with him. It was really fucking weird. And I don't know. It just was that weird thing that could have only happened in the 90s. Because it was so fucking simple. It was literally so fucking simple. It was just kicking a beanbag. That's all it was. Just kicking a beanbag. Over and over again. So that's my hacky sack memories.